The moment the first note left his lips, the room forgot how to breathe. And before we dive into this unbelievable journey, do me one small favor. If stories of raw talent, hidden dreams, and emotional breakthroughs move your heart, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the very end. Because what you're about to hear is more than a performance, it's a life-changing moment no one saw coming. When the doors of the audition hall opened that morning, no one paid much attention to the young Filipino man walking in. He was dressed simply: faded jeans, a plain white shirt, worn shoes that told stories of long days and longer nights. His hair was neatly combed, his posture respectful, almost shy. He smiled politely at the judges, but there was nervousness in his eyes. The kind of nervousness that comes from carrying a dream too big for your chest. His name was Miguel Santos, age 26, born and raised in a small coastal town in the Philippines where life was simple, opportunities were few, and dreams often had to wait. Miguel introduced himself softly. When asked what he did for a living, he paused before answering. "I work as a motorcycle mechanic," he said. A few quiet nods from the judges. Another contestant chasing a dream. When they asked why he was there, his voice trembled slightly. "Music saved me," he said. "And Elvis. Elvis gave me hope." There was a flicker of curiosity, but also doubt. Elvis Presley was a legend, an icon. Many had tried to sing his songs. Few could carry the soul. Miguel explained how his father used to play old Elvis records on a second-hand turntable every Sunday morning. His father, a fisherman, would sing along in a deep, warm voice while repairing nets. Those mornings were the happiest moments of Miguel's childhood. But when Miguel was 15, his father never came back from the sea. A sudden storm. A silent goodbye. After that, the music stopped. Miguel quit school to support his family, working odd jobs, fixing engines, doing whatever he could to put food on the table. At night, when the world slept, he would sit alone with a cheap guitar and sing Elvis songs, imagining his father listening somewhere beyond the stars. The judges listened politely, but years of experience had taught them to be cautious. Emotional backstories didn't always match vocal ability. One judge leaned forward and asked, "What song will you sing today?" Miguel swallowed and replied, "Can't Help Falling in Love." A familiar choice. Too familiar. One judge raised an eyebrow, another exchanged a glance. They nodded, signaling him to begin. The first few seconds were quiet. Miguel closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and when he sang, time stopped. It wasn't just a voice, it was a presence. Deep, rich, and heartbreakingly warm. His tone carried the weight of loss, love, and longing. The Elvis influence was unmistakable, but it wasn't an imitation. It was authentic, soulful, and uniquely his. The judge's expression shifted from polite interest to visible shock. One judge's mouth slowly fell open. Another leaned back in disbelief. The audience gasped. Some smiled. Some wiped tears. Miguel sang as if he was speaking directly to someone he loved and lost. Every word trembled with emotion. His voice filled the room, wrapping around every listener like a memory they didn't know they had. Halfway through the song, one judge quietly whispered, "Oh my God." By the final note, the silence was heavy, sacred. And then the room erupted. A standing ovation. Cheers. Applause that felt endless. Miguel stood frozen, eyes wide, hands shaking. He hadn't expected this. He had sung the same song 1,000 times alone, never imagining it would touch so many hearts. Tears streamed down his face as the judges praised him. One said, "I've heard Elvis sung 1,000 times, but never like this." Another added, "You didn't perform a song. You told a story." When they asked him what he was feeling, Miguel could barely speak. "I felt like my father was here," he whispered. But the journey didn't end there. As the competition progressed, challenges arose. Doubt crept in. Online critics questioned his style. Some said he was stuck in the past. Others doubted a mechanic from a small town could make it in the modern music industry. Miguel read the comments late at night, the same way he once sang alone. Fear returned. What if this was as far as he could go? Before his next performance, Miguel almost quit. He called his mother, voice shaking. She reminded him of his father's words, "Sing like it's the last song the world will hear." That night, Miguel chose a harder Elvis song, one filled with power and vulnerability. He walked onto the stage with renewed strength, not to prove others wrong, but to honor where he came from. The performance was explosive. His confidence had grown. His voice soared. The judges were on their feet again. One of them said, "This isn't just talent. This is destiny." Miguel advanced round after round, each performance deeper, stronger, more emotional. He wasn't just singing anymore, he was inspiring. By the finale, Miguel stood under the brightest lights he had ever known. Millions watched. He thought of the small house by the sea, the broken turntable, his father's voice. When he sang for every forgotten dreamer, every unseen talent, every person told they weren't enough. And once again, the world listened. Miguel didn't just shock the judges. He reminded everyone that greatness can come from anywhere, that dreams don't expire, and that sometimes, the most powerful voices come from the quietest places. His journey proved that belief, persistence, and heart can turn pain into purpose. So if this story moved you, if Miguel's voice reached something deep inside you, remember this: never underestimate yourself, and never stop believing in the power of your dream. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story, because somewhere out there, another hidden voice is waiting to be heard.